Welcome to Slasher Sunday. All right, Bloody Moon time. Let's talk about this brilliant, wonderful masterpiece of a film.
Yes.
So, these are always one of the harder movies to rate or even recommend because if I was to be fair and honest about a rating for the movie, like if I was on Letterboxd, right?
Hmm.
And I had like a half a star to 5 stars to rate this movie. If I was being like completely fair and honest about it as a film, it would be like a 1, right? Like that's realistic. The
Yeah.
movie is treacherous,
It's a
right?
trashy movie.
But my entertainment value is like a 5. Like,
I think that's probably fair.
so I don't understand how to rate a movie like this because the movie's not good. It's not even
No.
remotely good.
This is like one of those movies where you can watch it and get entertainment out of how bad it is. This isn't the case like when we sometimes talk about movies where like we hate it, it's horrible, it's so bad, like it's not even funny that it's
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
That's not the case with this. This is like one where all the inconsistencies and plot holes and like weird character choices and reactions and everything make it like very entertaining to watch. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, I went on Letterbox and I was looking at the rating because I've been trying to keep track of every movie I watch these days and I'm and our letterbox are in the description below if you want to follow us. But I went and I was like hovering over so many different ratings, and I legit like couldn't come up with one. So I sat there for a bit and tried to figure that out. But it's like these are such bizarre films to try to rate
Yes.
because they're trash. They're not good. I can't honestly sit there and be like, this is a 5 out of 5. It's not at all, even close. But I've I had a better time with this movie than I have with certain movies that I would rate higher than this.
Hmm.
With even because they're better movies.
Yeah.
Like I watch them and it's like this is a better film.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I went and saw like The Brutalist
Oh, sure.
this year, right? It's a better movie. There's no question. But this is way more entertaining. So it's like, what? I don't. Anyway, I guess it really, at the end of the day, it's how much entertainment it brings you, how much it resonates with you. And I had a blast. This is such a fun film. So ridiculous, so stupid, so absurd. If you have not seen it, it is currently on Tubi, as is all things. I think that if Tubi was smart, what they should do, this won't help them at all, but it'll be hilarious, is when they go to the commercial break, it should say to be continued.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Anyway. All right, Bloody Moon, let's talk about it. What a movie.
What a movie.
We get
What
some
a movie indeed.
incest dialogue to start the film,
Yep.
which I don't know if this is mirroring the dialogue later in the movie. Is it the exact same dialogue or not? I don't know. But we've got Miguel, who has a burned face on
Yeah.
one side, very Phantom of the Opera ish,
Yes.
and Manuela, his sister,
Mm-hmm.
who they have a thing. Now, in this movie, I've thought when she talked about later in the movie, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but because of we're talking about his burn face, I thought it was going to be revealed because later in the movie they talk about how, like they had a sexual relationship
Yes.
and something happened. They got caught. I don't know. Whatever. I thought what was going to be revealed is that in order to teach them a lesson, having gotten caught performing, or what would be the right word?
Having incest.
Yeah, whatever.
Doing the incest.
Doing the incest, no, it doesn't matter. Participating, no, something.
Participating in the
Yeah,
incest.
that someone like the dad or the mom or whoever like burned the kid's
Auntie.
face. right? Took his face and was like, "This will teach you
I mean,
to
it would
ever
make
touch your sister again.
yeah.
She'll never want you again. No woman will ever want you again because you're a monster. You're hideous. How could you have sex with your sister? Especially if they make it like where they burn his face because they think he like abused his sister and she's the one that's been manipulating him. See, that would have been cool, right? As he fell for her because she was seducing him, and then it got flipped on him when he was younger and he got punished for it, but he still can't let it go, and then this dredges up the memory of it and he realizes she's been doing this to him all along, using him.
Yeah,
So I like it filled in this much better backstory that never comes
it
to
doesn't. I think it
fruition.
would make a lot more sense too because the aunt that gets burned in this, like if she was the one that burned his face, and they're
Yeah.
trying to set it up
Yeah.
like he's the one that killed everybody or whatever, which spoilers for the end of the movie.
Obviously,
um,
spoilers.
yeah, we don't really get a very good backstory, I feel, for Miguel and Manuela's relationship. Uh, it's weird too because like we get this opening where that dialogue happens where she's like, "No, I'm your sister. Like we can't."
Yeah.
And then he like runs off to this party and steals this guy's
Mickey Mouse
Mickey Mouse
mask.
mask and shirt and pretends to be him, and some girl is like into the guy that she thinks it is, and so she runs off with him to go and sleep with him, and they get really far, like he's undressing her and everything, and then she takes his mask off and he freaks out and he grabs a pair of scissors and like cuts her open, right?
Very
So
reminiscent of the burning, right?
mm,
Like after Cropsey gets out, he goes and gets a prostitute, and then when she sees his face, she's like, "No," and then he kills her, and it's actually a pretty similar scene.
yeah. Well, what I was wondering is because later in the movie, when they have their other like when Miguel and Manuela, the brother and sister, have their other like weird incest
Yeah,
scene, she's like, "Remember what happened last time?" Which I
yeah,
know is what
yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about, the burning of the face. But I'm like, I'm wondering if she means last time when he
Oh,
tried to have sex with
oh.
her, he ran off and killed
I
somebody.
don't think so. Only because she alludes to that they fucked, or that that they had some kind of relationship.
Yeah,
I don't know though for sure if they ever have. I
or
feel like she's been stringing him along because she knows that he's into her. But like for what reason, I'm not 100% sure, because until it seems like very recently the aunt is going to give all the money to Manuela, or to
to Miguel,
Miguel, and not
yeah.
to Manuela. And then so she wants to use the teacher who ends up being the killer, um, for her to get the money. And I'm assuming Miguel's going to, not assuming, I'm sorry. It is shown that Miguel is going to get framed for all of the murders. But earlier, if we're talking 5 years previously, when he kills that girl, I mean, maybe that was the case then too, But then she
No,
comes and gets him
it's
out.
not like he definitely kills her.
No,
Um,
I know that. I'm saying that, did she want the money then, and all the money was going to go? But she said she just changed the will and is gonna leave it all to Miguel.
yeah. It
So
also
that
kind
wouldn't
of
make
seems
sense.
like maybe that was when they did sleep together and then he ran off and like had sex with another tried to sleep with somebody else. There's a lot of stuff like that in this movie that it's just kind of like it just doesn't make sense. I feel like the story and stuff
I think we've
and
already put more thought into it than the
a
writers
hundred
did.
percent. It also feels very much like a soap opera.
Hmm.
um which is funny. It's just there's a lot of like
Yeah.
drama and stuff. So anyway, he goes off to like a psychiatric ward for 5 years, and like it's very funny because the doctor that's like releasing him is talking to his sister and is like, it's really important that he not be reminded, like above all, like you don't put him in stress, don't have whatever, but like don't put him near anything that would remind him of that night. And like she literally takes him back to the place where
Yeah.
it happened, which I guess is like their home. So I suppose they couldn't really go anywhere else. But he's like back at the scene of the crime
Yeah,
immediately.
with a touch of irony to it as well, as he runs into a girl, which he starts. I don't. I guess he's kind of like into her as well.
Yeah, he kind of fixates on the girl on the train, like who's our main
Angela.
character,
Yeah.
Angela. Really weird introduction to her too. Like when he like, because they're on a train and he like sees her, and then there's this flash of him like remembering killing the other girl, and then we cut back to like the train car and her scarf is hanging out the window, and his sister comes up and is like, oh,
Did
you
you murder her?
you didn't murder her, did you?
Which is really funny. That's
Because
super
Angela's
funny
just
because
like literally right there.
then Angela just gets up and is like, "Oh no, my scarf got stuck," and blah blah blah, and then she
Yeah,
grabs it, it comes right out, so it's not stuck at all.
very
Um,
funny
and
scene.
then there's so many things that are funny from that to me. Not only from the fact that like he just got out and she's like already thinking he murdered somebody like 2 seconds later, like you didn't already kill someone, did you? It's been 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But also like so Angela gets to the school and they're like this is a funny scene onto itself, but then everything else kind of makes this funnier. But this scene, so she gets there and the girl's like, "You're not superstitious, are you? Because your bungalow's number 13." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not superstitious." And then she's like, "Oh, and also someone was brutally murdered in your place."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you might want to lead with that. The number 13 versus someone was
Yes.
actually
Like, yeah,
murdered
yeah.
in your room is a much bigger deal than
Yeah.
that it's 13. So I thought it was very funny that she followed that up with like it felt like a joke. It felt like something you would say of like, "You're not superstitious, are you?" And it's like, "No, I'm not." And it's like, well, someone was murdered in there, like as a joke to throw it
We
on there. But the fact that like so many things happen that's funny for me because she finds out someone was murdered in that room, putting aside like the 13 and all that stuff. But then she sees that guy from the train in her house,
yeah.
like he's in the bathroom. She's wiping the mirror clean. He's right there in the shot. She looks back and then she goes to like investigate. Somehow he gets out of the house without her noticing in 1 second flat. Then she goes to the door and there's some kid there selling freaking
Souvenirs.
souvenirs and then she just lets it go like no big deal. And it's like, someone was murdered in that room. You heard his sister on the train. You
Be
didn't just
like,
kill that
you
girl,
didn't
did
murder
you?
her, did you?
And then he's literally in your
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
And then people end up dying around you.
Well, she thinks it's him. She definitely thinks it's him, but she also thinks like nobody else can see him, I think. Because like every time she tries to be like, hey, it's him, like he's gone somehow and everyone's kind of like
I mean, she
discounting
knows
her.
that everybody can, or that people can see him because she sees him and his sister together on the train.
I know that she knows that he's real, but
Yeah.
it seems like once she gets to the school,
Yeah.
every time she sees him, he like disappears, or like when people come in the next second, like they don't
Because
see
she reads
him.
all those damn
And it's
mystery
mystery
novels.
crime thrillers. I was gonna say that everybody's reactions in this is very like weird, and I can't tell if it's because we watched like a dub version. I don't know if that's the only version that's available.
On Tubi, maybe. I don't know.
But we watched it, which it's fine. I don't know. It was funny to like listen to the dub, but I was really trying to watch their actual like performances too, and I still feel like there's some underacting and like weird
or
things
overacting
going on. Yeah, everything with the school is really funny, like just all these girls, because there's so many other girls than like the main like four, and like later on, Miguel, like when we have that next like incestuous scene, his sister is like, if only like nobody was around, like we could be together. So you think, oh, he thinks if he kills everyone, they can be together. But he's only going after these four girls, and then there's all these other ones. And of course, it ends up not even being him. So like the teacher killing only these four girls, like there's other girls in the class, like, and she even says like there's one left, like there's only one left, and she's in that room. Like at the end of the movie, the sister says this to the teacher. So it's like, what are you talking about? There's more than just one left. There's all these other kids that are on, like all these other girls that are there.
But okay, I mean, it makes sense because she's just trying to frame him to get rid of him so she gets the money.
So she just picked these girls, and he's like,
It doesn't matter who
yeah,
it is.
yeah. I guess you're right.
He's just killing random girls.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to be one of the girls that he's obsessing over.
I guess you're right. She's not like, you have to kill everyone.
Right. I mean, that's what he thinks. So I think okay, to make sense of this, even though the movie, like trying to make sense of this movie is absurd, but to make sense of that, I think she is trying to trigger and push him so that he will commit a murder.
Yeah.
And then it'll be even easier to frame him because he is guilty.
Yeah.
Right? If he goes and does it for her, the more the merrier for her.
Yeah.
She's like, she doesn't give a shit about any of these girls. She just wants them gone so that she can get all the money. So for her, it's like, go kill, don't go kill, but pushing him to the edge only strengthens her case against him when he's framed for the murders later on.
Yeah.
Because she can even say, like, hey, I told him that if he got rid of all these girls, then, if he took it wrong. I just said, like, whatever. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's super fucking silly. It honestly, the reveal that it's not him helps the film.
It does
a bit because there are a couple things where I'm like, that's impossible. Like the tape recording, where I was like, how the hell could he have possibly manipulated the tape? And it's like, well, he didn't. It's the teacher.
I don't think
the tape.
So in that scene, because they're in a like a language school, a Spanish language school, and like their class.
Oh no, that tape is definitely manipulated.
I think it's just in her head, but like their class is all like they just sit there and listen to these.
Because she gets the phone call, and it's the same thing.
She gets the phone call?
She gets the phone call, and she picks up the phone, and the phone's saying the same exact thing that was on the tape. Oh, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to murder you. I'm going to cut you in half. It's really funny.
I don't remember the phone call.
Yeah, she gets the phone call, and it's like the exact same dialogue that was on the tape recording.
I don't know why I don't remember the phone call at all. Because I thought she totally was just like freaking out and imagining. Because she listens to it again, and it's fine.
No, so
like in
it just keeps playing, right? So he recorded it on the tape, because those are the tapes, and then when she freaks out.
But why would he even record it on the tape?
I don't know what his
that doesn't make any sense.
Is, right? Like, so making sense of the movie is impossible, because why wouldn't they just go on a little bit of, like, why isn't one girl enough? Well, right? And also, like, why doesn't he just kill one girl and then frame it on? Why would he kill a girl, then hide her body, then wait a day, kill another girl, hide her body, kill another girl, hide her body?
Because he's supposed to only be in it for the money, but really, like, it's supposed to be like he's sadistic. Like, that would be the only reason that he would be like killing all these girls and recording messages to like mess with her head.
I would say, like, I'm okay with him being sadistic to a degree. I don't really care. He has to be, obviously, to do this, but that doesn't really hold water as much to me, only because he's so upset when she doesn't want to pay him, right? Like, he's very much in it for the money. Like, to him, this is a job. To him, this is like, he's like a hitman. He's not getting off on it.
I know.
He's doing it because she's like, well, I'm going to cut you in on this.
Is because they're trying to make it look like Miguel did it, so they're trying to make it look more like sadistic. And less like, just like,
that's fine, but why can't you just kill them all in the same night?
Sure.
I mean, they're all together. Yeah. Like, everyone walks into that fucking, like, her little bungalow.
Yeah.
Like, literally 4 different people walk into her room within, like, 10 minutes of each other.
Yes.
This girl needs to lock her door.
She doesn't lock her door. Well, she does. She does barricade herself in at one point, but.
Yeah.
Somehow people still get in.
I will say,
a cat gets thrown in.
For all the movies we watch where I'm complaining that there isn't enough nudity, man, oh man, did this one make up for lost time.
This one has a lot of nudity. It's
a lot.
Kind of softcore. Like, there's not really there's no sex scenes.
There's a fake sex scene.
There's a fake sex scene, but there's no like sex scenes, but there's a lot of like half naked women. So I don't know if that counts as softcore. I feel like it does, but yeah, it's fine. The sister is always taking her shirt off and just standing at the window, like, naked.
There's a really funny scene too, where she's like standing in the window clearly
like
nude.
fully naked.
And then she turns around and it cuts to her walking from the window and she has lingerie on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that supposed to be a different, but that's the same moment.
No, it was supposed to be the same. I mean, I guess she like grabs it and puts it on really fast.
There's another scene in the movie that doesn't really make sense. I shouldn't say makes sense, but doesn't really work because of how it's played. So very early on, the aunt is murdered.
Yes.
But then throughout the rest of the movie, we see Manuela carting her around in her wheelchair.
At night, though. Always
at night. For sure. And I'm assuming this is to make it seem like she's still alive.
Yeah.
But they never say that.
Which is funny because...
But then it's like, there's a moment where they go to the body and turn it around, and then it's revealed she's dead and she has like a burned face, and it's like, but we already knew that.
Okay,
like, that doesn't work.
More than that, though, is that she's trying to make it seem like she's alive, like until the scheme is finished.
Right. So if the coroner comes in and we're like, this person's been dead for 4 days.
That
wouldn't make any sense.
But also just the fact that she's, I guess, like, yeah, if Miguel killed her as well and like burned her. I'm just saying, like, how she got murdered, like she got burned alive, like that's gonna be suspicious. Unless it's also framed on Miguel.
Well, of course that would be framed on Miguel, but it doesn't make sense because if you kill her 4 days previously, but you've been seen walking her around the grounds for the last 3 nights, the cops are going to have questions. They're going to be like, "You were seen out with your aunt,
but she was dead
the last 3 nights, but she's been dead for 4 nights. Can you explain that, please?"
So funny.
So I don't understand that at all. I don't understand her purpose of walking her around the grounds, because the only thing I could come up with is that I thought somewhere in the film at the very end she was going to explain, because if she was walking her around and we didn't know she was dead, that would make some sense. I would be like, so she's been dead the whole time, but we see her murdered. Early in the movie, we literally see a blowtorch to the face, and then her face is caught on fire, and it's like she's dead. And then when she's walking her around, it's like, okay, so she's in on this to some degree, because
so I feel like
clearly not her aunt.
You know that Manuela is in on it, but you think it's like Manuela and Miguel, and then it becomes it's Manuela.
I thought it was going to be Miguel, the teacher, in the wheelchair, and she was like pushing him around for some reason.
No, she's just pushing burnt corpse around.
But I thought for sure once we got to the reveal that Manuela has hired the teacher to be the killer to get the money, that she was going to be like, I've been pushing this body around for the last 3 nights, like an explanation of why she's been pushing her around at night.
No, we don't get any of that. We'll get to the end, because I think that, like...
Can you come up with a single reason why she'd be pushing her around at night?
That's... Well, what I just said is just that she's trying to make it seem like she's still alive. But for why, I don't know.
I don't either.
Like, just because as soon as people know that she's... Because
she
wants
missing?
her to be dead when Miguel is caught, because that's when she gets the money. Which I also don't understand, because...
She can't die.
Why would she get the, like...
Okay, she can't die until
Miguel is caught for the murders. But
even if
what
Miguel
I don't get, though, is that if you're in the will, if she said because the aunt is like, I made sure, like, you're not getting anything, like, you're not in there at all. So Miguel gets caught for the murders. Doesn't he still get the inheritance? Or
I think it would revert to, like, not her, if she's expressly cut out of the will.
She probably has some backup person, or like organization or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You would think that it wouldn't be like it's just going to go to Manuela. It would go like somewhere else.
It would be possible, though, that because she's his sister, she's his guardian.
Yeah.
Or maybe not his guardian.
That.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe she's got like power of attorney, and like maybe that would make sense then. If it's something like that scenario.
But why does she need her to be alive?
Until he gets caught.
Because why didn't
otherwise
she notice she
if
was
she's
missing for
because
4 days?
otherwise if she's dead before he's caught, then he gets the money and she doesn't
But
get
once
to
again,
like
why
control it.
not just kill everyone in one night?
I
And
don't know.
if you need more than one body,
I don't
why you
know.
only need to kill one girl?
Yeah.
And honestly, she only needed to have him kill the aunt. The
Well,
girls are
sure.
completely
You could just
pointless.
frame him for the aunt and then it's like
And then I would be on board, actually. Then I would be like, that bitch, because the aunt is a cunt.
she's
She is
mean. But she like
awful.
knows though, but like now, like looking back, like she knows Manuela sucks.
Sure, maybe she's
So it's kind
awesome
of like
and I should be on her side.
yeah.
But honestly, like, if she realistically, all she has to do is kill the aunt, which she wants dead anyways, and she hates her anyways, and then frame that on Miguel. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
Whatever the fuck that means.
I don't know.
British people say it all the time. It's something. I know what it means, but I don't know what it means.
It's like
I used it
like,
correctly
is
there.
it like in there you go?
Yeah.
But I don't know who Bob is.
Yeah,
I don't want him to be my uncle.
I don't know why that's a thing, but yeah. No, there you go. All she has to do is kill the aunt and then frame it on Miguel.
Yeah.
Bob's your cousin.
That's not that's not what happens. But instead, you know who has a really good time this movie?
Dude, Antonio is my boy. That guy is living the life. Let me tell you. They got a tennis instructor on staff for this place, and literally all the guy does is play tennis and fuck every girl that's there, and they all push each other onto Antonio.
Yeah,
it's like
really
it's not like he's slipping into the girls' rooms and not anyone knows about it. That being said, it is very odd because when they first meet Antonio at the disco,
yeah, where they're playing "Shake Your Baby."
Oh my god, we'll get there.
Song.
They get to the doors and they're like, "Oh, this is Antonio. He's a great lover. We'll let you have a go with him." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, we can do that." And they're just like, "Yeah, you got to be with Antonio. He's the best." And all this, and all the girls like share him.
Yeah, they're all they're like, I don't know. I guess it is kind of funny that they're like all sharing him, but they're
all jealous of him too.
Like a Latin lover, like that's like their thing because they're like, you know, in Spain learning Spanish, and they're like wanting this like exotic quote unquote, like they want like a foreigner to have sex with them.
According to IMDb, this is like the girls are German, and they're coming to Spain to learn Spanish,
which explains why they're all blonde. And them all being blonde actually I found to be also confusing because then like at the end there's like all these body reveals and I was like, wait, who's that? Which one's that?
Yeah,
because they all have like blonde hair. One of them has the longer hair, but the other two have like the same length. Yeah, like close enough. So I'm like,
well, one gets her head cut off.
I know that's the only way that you know. Okay, that's her.
Kind of a surefire way of telling. Yeah. But yeah, Antonio, he's living the life, man. He's living the life. He's living the vida loca. But it is odd because they do like try to push every girl onto him, and they're all just like, "Oh, we all take turns with Antonio," and it's like, okay, that's cool. But at the same time, then the girl comes in later, and she's like, "You wanted to lie to us to keep him for yourself," and all this. And it's like, you were the ones that said fuck Antonio.
That girl isn't the one. So there's two of her friends who are very chill. This is where the confusion is. Yeah. Right? So there's two of the friends that are like that are like joking and like very flirty and very just like, who's gonna sleep with them tonight, and like not weird about it. And then there's this one girl who does get jealous because
the one who gets her head cut off.
Yes. They make some joke when they're at the disco that she takes the wrong way which I don't even understand why she takes it the wrong way, because it's something about like licking, like cleaning him up or something, and he's like, I'll order like whipped cream or whatever, and then she like gets up and is like, I thought you knew how to treat a lady, and like storms off and leaves, and the other girls kind of laugh and are like, she doesn't really like, we should kind of take it easy because like she doesn't know stuff about sex, because I think she's supposed to be a virgin or something. So she's like very touchy about it. she hasn't slept with him yet. She doesn't know, like, she is also new to meeting him. It's the other two girls that have, like, done things, I guess. So then later on, when that girl, the virgin, I'll call her, shows up to Angela's, like, bungalow and is like, you left, like, to try and get him alone, she's jealous because that is what she thinks happened. And, like, the whole rest of the movie is her, like,
But she storms out because
trying to.
she doesn't want him, but then is mad that Angela does.
Yeah.
But then
She does, no, she storms out because
is
she
she the
does
same
want him
girl?
and she doesn't like his reaction to her.
Is she the same girl that goes up to the other guy and is like, I hope we meet up tonight?
No. So that girl
These
is.
girls are so
I don't think that
confusing.
girl is a student. That one is in the opening. There's like a lady with long hair who's like, the aunt is here, Manuela is here, whatever, and she's talking to the teacher when he's like on the phone, and she's like, "Oh, why did we open this school?" I don't know if that's supposed to be his wife. I don't think so, but it's just like a business partner or something. But then when they're at the disco, she's there and she tells him, like, it'd be nice if you would come to my room tonight. And he's like, yeah, it sounds good.
Who's okay?
So,
The girl who gets her head cut off. Who is she pretending to have sex with?
some other guy. I don't know who. Somebody that she met. Like, she's just like lying about a guy.
But then 2 seconds after she does this, which this scene makes zero sense because she's in Angela's bungalow.
Yes.
Pretending to have sex with some dude, ripping up her clothes, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, rip them off me.
Because I guess, yeah, that shows her inexperience of, like, there's just, while they're having sex, there's tons of, like, tearing
Clothes
of
ripping.
clothes. Okay. But then she gets caught and then she runs out, and then literally 2 seconds later she's in a car with a masked man, which we don't see masked.
He's not masked. We see the side of his head and he's not wearing no mask.
I thought she was like, you can take that off now.
Yes,
or
but
something?
we see him when he's driving. Like, we see when he's like going around like it's like a zoomed out shot, but he's very much not wearing a mask.
But he is wearing a mask.
When he's
but like we
there,
see him in the shot, but he's supposed to be wearing a mask.
Yes, he's supposed to be wearing
a
mask.
Now you're just trying to confuse me.
Oh no, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's fine. Yeah, I get it.
He's written to have been wearing a mask, but we don't see that.
Yeah, we don't see him take it off. We don't see it. I don't. Yeah, but I don't know why she would then 2 seconds after having got caught pretending to have sex, jump in a car with a masked man to then go like have.
She goes to have crazy sex. She's like,
that's why I don't understand how she's a virgin.
She might not be a virgin.
She can't be.
I don't think they don't
like
say
totally
that she's a virgin, but they're like
tied up.
They say something like she's weird or like she's sensitive with this type of thing.
But then again,
which maybe they're like, we can't push her because she's fucking psycho and like she's gonna like have sex with everybody or something.
She must be freaking, inexperienced with sex because he starts tying her legs together.
She's fully clothed. He starts tying her ankles together and like her knees together.
Yeah, he like Dexters her to the table.
He
and
does.
She's like, "Oh, you can do anything," and it's like, "Girl, he just tied your legs together." Like,
it's crazy.
How's he gonna get in there?
Like, what are you talking about? And it's funny because this entire movie, you have Angela running around being like, this other girl, like Ava or whatever, somebody murdered her, which we didn't even talk about.
No, we haven't. We're going to get to the kills
but she's running around talking about, like, freaking out, trying to find this girl that she saw murdered, like,
100%.
Came into her dead body. And everybody is just like, no, you read too many scary stories. Like, they just all discount her. And then this girl goes off and lets a guy, like, just tie her up at some factory. And
so stupid.
That is just wild.
So, yeah, Angela's at her place. And this chick comes in and she's like, I need to borrow a pullover. And then she's like, oh, here, you can take this one. And so the girl goes to try it on, tits. And then the fucking killer comes in, stabs her through the back, and the knife comes out of her nipple in the front.
Gnarly.
Awesome kill. Really good kills in the movie. So, huge plus.
Yeah, there are some really good kills. Hilarious
characters and gore. I mean, how am I not going to be entertained? But yeah, so she gets killed. He puts her right on her bed.
Yes. Lays down on the bed.
Naked, stabbed through the fucking back.
Angela walks in.
And that's it. He throws her on the bed, having just been stabbed through the body.
Yeah.
Then she runs out, finds someone. They come back in. She checks the room, and there's no body. You're telling me that a girl who was just stabbed through the heart and was thrown on a bed seconds later was left there long enough for Angela to come back in and find her body, and then left the room. And then when the girl comes back, there's not only no body, but zero blood anywhere in the room.
Yes.
None on the bed. Somehow he stuck a knife into her. She bled none at all. But then when we find her clothes later in the movie, there's blood all over the clothes. So somehow none of that blood transferred to the bed or any of the room.
Angela goes searching for her, goes to her place, finds the clothes there at her place with the blood and like a little blood like near the bathtub.
Yeah.
But then her body is still in Angela's like closet.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think is that they only had like one building that they were filming in.
Yeah.
And they just like didn't cover the number 13, which seems insane to me because they make such a point of being like 13 is unlucky.
Yeah.
And like so that building is supposed to be other girls' like rooms as well.
Maybe.
That's the only explanation I have because I don't understand like what is going on with all of that.
But they only show it from the outside, so why couldn't you just film number 14 or 15? You're not going inside.
Sure.
The insides could be a different thing.
Sure.
But regardless.
But that's, yeah. So Angela's reaction, though, to finding her dead was really funny. Like, that was kind of the underacting where she's like, like, she takes, and it's not like I think she is trying to be like, I'm shocked. Like, yeah. And I, therefore, I'm like not screaming, but it just kind of comes across as her being like, not caring that much.
Yeah.
But she does care because she does spend like most of the movie like literally running all over the place. Like she goes to the docks and like is asking these fishermen if they've seen her, and she
almost has a rock pushed on her head.
She almost has a boulder thrown on her, and she's just like running around trying to find this girl, and nobody is listening to her. No, like literally nobody is like taking her seriously at all.
You mean the cops that were like, I'd like to teach her a language?
The cops that were like, you gotta read the signs, and it's like
the ones that saluted her when they stopped their bikes. Like, what the fuck? The cops salute people over in Spain
in the 80s, maybe.
I don't know. God, there's so many things to talk about with this film. There's so many moments in the film. I feel like I could take every single fucking second of this film and talk about it. Like every time you're talking, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, there's 18 things in there that I just want to point out that are so absurd. That's why this movie's so entertaining, because there's so much stupid shit.
So the girl that dies tied up, though, the other part of that scene is that there's this little kid.
Well, she also gets decapitated, which is a great looking kill. But
the kill is good. It's funny though because the blood like squirts out like a hose, which is really funny.
Awesome.
Maybe that's what happens when you're decapitated. I don't know.
Probably.
But it's like a hose. But there's this little kid, which is the same little kid that's trying to sell Angela souvenirs.
Yeah.
And he like has this little spyglass, and he's like, why is he taking her in there into this like abandoned factory? And so he follows them in and like sees that she's getting tied up. And then like when the guy turns on the factory thing, like the saw.
Yeah. The wet saw.
The little kid like goes in and he tries to he finds like a lever and he turns it off. And then right away the killer's there.
The killer's just like, nope.
He's like, nope.
And then he gives him a little kick and he like runs out of the place. The little guy tried.
He really tried.
And then after he kills the girl, the killer jumps in the car and runs the kid down with his car.
Over. It's so sad.
It's fucking brutal,
the kid's
man.
Like, it sucks because he's literally on one of those roads, like it's by a cliff. Like there's nowhere for him to like try and hide from the car.
No.
Sucks. That was really sad.
Kid was a hero, man, and he just gets run down. Yeah, so he
also kills this kid.
Yeah.
Not only does he kill all these girls, crazy, so crazy. So,
but he also, not only did he do that, but he had to then grab the body and throw it in the car and then come chase the kid down.
Yeah, because he also stages them.
Yeah.
Which is just like, okay, Michael Myers.
I don't know why he needed to drive her all the way out there and cut her head off there. Like, it was just so not. It was so unnecessary. But a great
when
looking
Manuel
kill.
is like, just use his knife at the end. I'm like, that's what you should have been using the whole time. He's never killed anybody. Like
Yeah.
he didn't even kill anybody with a knife. He killed somebody with scissors.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think he's now gonna take like a freaking
Wet
timber
saw
saw
and shit.
thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then the next, I think after that, is when so she like she's gonna leave, but then she sees Antonio at the like so Angela's gonna leave. Angela's like, I'm gonna leave, and she like packs up all her stuff. And she goes to like walk out the front door, and Antonio's out there. Like she opens the door and he's there, and she like gasps and is like weirdly scared of him and shuts the door, locks it, pushes like the couch in front of it,
Yeah.
and then goes to the other door, and that's where Miguel is. And
Yeah.
she's like, and does the same thing, like pushes something in front of it. So she like barricades herself in there.
But then the slowest opening door in the history of cinema
Then
starts
somehow,
to open, and then 5 minutes later, a cat is clearly thrown into the room.
a cat
Does
that
not
we've
jump,
never seen
is
before.
literally thrown,
that
and then
we've
is never seen again.
I don't know where that cat came from.
He's in the closet, and he's like, it actually sounded like a Geiger counter as it clicked open. It was like, and then it's finally the cat is thrown out, and it's like, okay. It's so funny how fast she can let certain things go. Like she sees a guy in her place, and then there's a kid selling shit at her door, and then she completely lets it go.
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh, I saw a guy in my house like 2 seconds ago, but oh, there's a kid. Oh yeah, that's fine." And then it just cuts to the next day. Like she would not be like, why was there a guy in my room?
No, she has. I
Because
mean,
she knows who that is. She saw him on the train. It's not like some random figment of her imagination. She knows exactly who it is. Like you said,
literally in the beginning, like she sees a guy on, like she sees a guy in her place.
You didn't murder her, did you?
Yeah, and then she still ends up like walking out alone. Anyway.
Oh yeah, even after that, she still like decides I'm gonna go out by myself.
There's also a really horrible scene in this movie that we have to talk about, unfortunately, and it does make me not like the movie as much as like I would, because there's, I'm pretty sure, an actual animal death in this film. There's like this like little snake that I don't even remember what's happening in the scene. Antonio kills it.
To run and cuts it and have garden shears.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like they straight up just cut this snake's head off. And
they did the really same in Friday the 13th.
I hate that too. I think it's awful. I think it's really despicable.
It's horrible.
Like I cannot
no excuse
imagine there's nowhere anywhere where it's okay for you to like kill an animal for your film. Like and it's not even a necessary scene.
No.
Like it's a totally fucking pointless scene.
Yeah.
So
even if it was necessary.
But I mean, like,
if you can stage
it's necessary, like, you fake it, right? Like, you put in, like, why not?
If you can make a severed head,
exactly,
you can make a fake
and then you
snake.
just put a fake snake, and like, people are more scared of like people act like fake snakes are real snakes all the time.
Like anybody could fucking.
It's so stupid.
Like anyone's gonna care that it doesn't look real in the movie. Like with every other thing in the movie that looks fake, like the girl getting her like wax stomach stabbed into in the beginning. It's like, and it would matter if you just got a rubber snake and filled it with blood and then just cut it in half.
I really hope that it isn't real and that it just like looks like it, but I feel like it was real.
I didn't see it. I was literally writing notes when it happened. So you were like, what? And then I was like, oh no. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's one of the downsides of Friday the 13th is they cut a snake in half.
Major downside.
Not cool. Definitely sucks, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it.
So that was just, the cat reminded me, because it was like, what's the point of this cat being here?
Yeah. And then
her friend. So when she comes out, like her friend is there, the last surviving friend.
Yeah.
And she's like,
oh, this is after she stabs a
mannequin.
This is one of the dumbest scenes I've ever watched. So she has a mannequin in her house. Like it's like I think you can put, I don't know what it's for. I think it's for like
clothes.
For like
sewing.
Mm. So like it clearly has like a upper torso, but then it has like a body that looks like a coat hanger or a coat rack for the rest of the body. Like it's a very thin pole that comes up the middle, and then there's a bit of a torso and a head. And the head is clearly just like a material head. It's not a human face at all. It's flat, featureless. It has a couple little eye things pushed into it, but they don't look like eyes. Anyway, she turns around, stares at it, and then stabs it a few times, and then runs out of the room, and then tells her friend. And I was laughing. I was like, there's no way she thought that was the killer.
Yeah.
Like, I thought she just startled herself, stabbed it, and then was like, oh my God, and then ran away. Like, but then when she went to her friend, I was like, she's not going to tell her she killed the guy, did she? And then she does. She's like, I stabbed someone. Him. You got to go look. And then she came in, and I was like, we see it. That's the crazy thing. So, like, this is what blows my mind with movies. Like, if I'm on set and I'm there, like, helping, and I'm looking at this scene, I'm saying, okay, there's a way to do this to where it makes sense. There's a way to frame it. There's a way to shoot this where we see the shadow and she turns around and we see from her perspective it looks like a guy and she stabs it and then runs away. And then when we come back, it looks like she stabbed a guy. And then when her friend comes to investigate, she turns on the lights and it's a mannequin that's on the ground. That makes sense. But in this shot, it is super, super light in the room. She can clearly see everything. She turns around, looks at it for at least a full second or more before she stabs it. We can see clearly in the shot at the very left-hand corner the head on the thing she's about to stab, and it is obviously a mannequin. And then we're supposed to think that she stabbed someone when the girl runs back into the room. Like, it's so obviously not. Not only does it not trick us, but it wouldn't have tricked her either.
Yeah.
So it's a failure on both sides. And it's there. I've seen it done in multiple films. Like, how many times have you seen a movie where someone thinks they stabbed something, and then when they turn on the lights, it's not the thing they thought that they, the person or whatever. It's like a mannequin or it's whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that happens all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, it's so weird that they decide not to, like, shoot it that way. But when her friend goes in, she's like, come look who you murdered. And, she walks in and sees that it's just the mannequin. And it's like, she literally says yet again, like, you read too many thriller novels. And then tells her.
We didn't even get to. Oh, go ahead and finish that and then I'll.
No, it's just, and then she's like, I'm going to go get us some beers from the club.
Yeah.
And I'll be back.
So also earlier, which is really fucking funny to me, because there's no way this is possible. So the girl who was pretending to have sex with a guy, she gets caught, right, by the friends in the window. When she gets up to grab the thing that she's going to tear, the closet door opens up and the dead body is inside of the girl who was stabbed through the tit. The thing is wide open. It's literally facing the window that the girls would be looking in through. So they'd be looking directly at the girl in the closet dead. The doors are still wide open. And then the girl in the room, there's only one exit, and it's passing the fucking dead body inside the cabinet. And no one noticed it.
Nobody noticed.
And then the girl, because it's in number 13, if that's supposed to be the room, she is, because she comes, it is in her room that she finds the bodies later, and it's in the same place. She somehow didn't find that body when the doors are never closed.
It's not
in the same place, but regardless.
No, he moves it to behind a curtain.
Oh, okay.
Which is really
but regardless,
weird.
There's no way.
No, there isn't.
They
she
did
packs
not
her
see
clothes
it.
And stuff, so it's like she would have gone into the closet.
See, the way that you do this,
it's bizarre.
Super simple, is you have her open it up, and then, like, as she's walking away, she hits the door, and then it opens, it reveals it to the audience, like, oh shit, the body's there, and then the door swings back closed.
Sure.
But to keep them open, and it faces the window, and she's going to have to walk by it to get out of the room, there's no way no one noticed that body right in the middle of the room. It's so dumb.
Silly. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my only explanation is that the killer then goes in and moves the body out of the closet so that he can put it behind the curtain
I mean, that's
later.
fine, but there's no way no one
But
noticed the body.
but yeah, they
But there's
should
such
have.
a
Yeah,
there's an easy way to do this
there
in
is.
film. You show the audience and then it closes back again and no one notices.
Yeah, yeah, of
That's
course,
fine.
of
It
course.
happens. That could work. But the
Yeah.
fact they left the doors open, it's just like it's such failures on every level
Yes.
throughout.
Yeah.
The acting is shit, the writing is shit, but somehow it's still wildly entertaining.
Excuse me.
Despite,
It is.
them murdering a snake potentially.
Yeah, no, that part
That's on
is not at all. It's like sickening. I really hope it didn't happen.
We haven't even mentioned the completely random, completely pointless, but
The red
hilariously
herring.
entertaining, like simple-minded groundskeeper
Yeah.
that just kind of keeps laughing every time they see him, and he's like,
It's so weird. They kind of set it up for him to be a red herring where
that
you
guy
like
fucking
think it's
rules.
him, but it's not because like
Spain loves to have their fucking gardening like red herrings because in
yeah.
Pieces
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
Bluto from Popeye, that guy with the chainsaw,
Yeah.
and you think it's him, and it's like
For like a half a second you do think it's this guy because like there's a few scenes. There's one scene where he's looking in at her earlier in her like house, like has his face like pressed up against her window, and
so funny.
of course it ends up not being him. And at the end of the movie, like she sees the teacher and him, and she runs away to Manuela and like tells her everything. And Manuela like it's kind of weird because she like drugs her. She puts powder in her like drink that she gives her, but
Yeah.
it doesn't like knock her out or anything. I don't
No,
really
she
know
like
what
goes to sleep for like
happens.
4 seconds, and then she's fine. Then she gets up and gets out of there.
It's really weird,
Completely
but she like
pointless.
drugs her, and then this is when the teacher comes.
Yeah.
And oh, also, sorry. So we get the reveal that it's the teacher earlier.
Yeah.
With and Miguel is fighting him. Or no, sorry, we don't see that it's the teacher. That's when we're like showed the teacher and then the gardener where we're like maybe
Right.
it's one of them.
He hits him over
But
the head.
yeah, Miguel gets hit over the head, so you think he's dead. So we get the reveal that it's not Miguel, I should say. Anyway, then the teacher and Manuela are like talking, and Miguel like kind of hears what's happening, and Manuela's like saying all this horrible stuff like I never liked him, he always disgusted me, and like blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And
He overhears it.
yeah, he overhears it. And then the teacher, there's this crazy thing where Manuela, he's like, "Where will we go?" or something, and she's like, "I want to get out of here and like forget about everything." Like, and like, you thought that like just because you killed some people, like that you get to be with me.
Yeah. She just basically says, essentially what she gets at is like, you got to have sex with me.
She literally
that's
says,
payment
she does
enough.
say like you slept with me, like that's payment enough.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you talking about?
Imagine.
It's so funny because then he attacks her and they're like fighting. And while that's happening, Miguel goes into the other room, and I guess this is supposed to kind of be because he's got a head injury, that maybe he's just like not thinking clearly, because he goes in and is like Manuela, and it's Angela that's in the bed, and he like lunges on her and is like kind of trying to kiss her and stuff. And
I think these scenes are supposed to be
they
dark.
might be
like because like I was just rewatching
maybe.
The Mutilator and the blind man's bluff scene where they're like hiding,
so funny.
It's like hide and seek in the dark
in broad daylight.
It's literally like it's so brightly lit.
Yeah.
And they're like feeling around, and the person's right in front of them, and they're like, "Is that you?" And it's
very
like
funny.
It is so bright.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the mannequin scene and the Miguel with Angela in bed thinking it's Manuela's scene are supposed to be like, we're supposed to, as the audience, fill in that it's super dark in the room.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, it is, because it's really weird. He goes in there and then she ends up stabbing him through the neck with like a hairbrush thing. And then
like a knitting needle.
It's a hairbrush though. Like I was looking at it. It's this like really thin, like round comb kind of thing, but it's like very thin. and she was like brushing her hair with it. I don't know. I've
I don't
never
know.
seen anything like that
Been a
before.
hairdresser for 20 years. I
I
didn't
know.
notice it.
It's a hairbrush. I've never seen it before.
I mean, the
But
only thing I could stab someone with that's like a comb or anything is a highlighting comb.
it's not that. It's like
No.
round.
Yeah. I'd have to
It's
look at it
really weird
again.
looking.
Yeah.
And then the teacher comes in and is like trying to attack her. And then Manuela comes in and uses a chainsaw on him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Chainsaws his chest.
chainsaws his chest and then goes over to Angela and is like, I saved you. Like, don't forget, Miguel and him, like, they're both murderers. And it's like, the one telling everyone to murder people,
Yeah.
but okay.
Yeah.
And Angela runs off.
Well, yeah, she tries to tell her, I don't know why she wouldn't kill her. Because I was thinking, like, well, she made that girl kill, or that guy kill for her because she just doesn't have it in her. But then she kills him.
Yeah.
So it's like she's a murderer. She already has the chainsaw in hand. She's got this girl basically drugged, and no one's going to know. So why not just kill her too? And she lets her go for some reason.
I don't
like
know.
She's going to leave a witness to
Yeah,
all of this.
it's
That
super
makes
weird.
no sense.
But then it doesn't really matter because Miguel is still alive.
Yeah.
And he strangles her very quickly.
Very quickly.
And they die.
They die.
And Angela runs
holding
into
hands.
Antonio's arms, and that's it.
Dude, even in the end, Antonio is landing babes.
Yeah.
He just can't stop winning.
I'm glad Angela lives,
Oh,
even
me
though because like she's like she's just I feel like she gets a hard break.
She doesn't deserve to live.
She doesn't deserve
she
to
should
live
have
because
left
she's like
so long ago.
Yeah. But she also does kind of deserve to live because she like tries really hard to like look for her friend and like all this stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, I think that the teacher and Manuela are the ones who obviously are the ones who deserve to die.
Yes.
I don't think anyone else deserves to die.
Yeah.
But like, there's just so many instances where Angela should have left.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
And then she's even in the house next to a phone and doesn't even
Yeah.
try to call the police or
Yeah.
anything. It's
Yeah.
makes
I think part of that is also supposed to be because she's in Spain and she's like doesn't speak fluent Spanish.
Yeah.
That she's like, I can't call the police because I can't talk to them and tell them what the thing is. I think that's supposed to be part of like her thing. I don't know. I feel like that's why that whole scene with the police officers and them being like, you got to read the sign, and her being like, I can't read.
Can't read. Yeah, I mean, I think you know how to call the police, and plus she's learning their language. Doesn't matter anyway.
I'm just saying that's my thinking behind it.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
Very funny movie though.
Yeah. What the hell was I gonna say? I literally was just about to say it, but then we just went on a little too long, and now I'm completely blanking on the last thing I was gonna say here.
Shake the Baby.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. One of the great songs I've ever heard in my life. I don't know if that's like a translation.
Shake your baby.
Yeah.
Shake your baby. It's supposed to be like shake your woman or like shake your love, but he's just saying shake your baby.
It's like,
and that's like the lyrics for the whole song.
It's really funny.
We were just laughing about
how many kids suffered from shaken baby syndrome after this
shake
hit
baby.
Hit the airwaves. That really made me laugh. The Shake Your Baby song, that got me pretty good. I do wonder what was that a song that was in the film, or was that like translated over? I don't really know, but Shake Your Baby like on repeat was really fucking funny.
It was really funny.
The music in this is very repetitious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny sounding too. It's very like
a lot of terrible cuts too.
Yeah.
Where the music just cuts.
Stops and you're like,
there's even a point where it's playing like almost like Angela's theme, but then like the Killer's theme, which they cut to. So it's like Angela's theme, and then it's hard cut to like the Killer's theme, and then it like hard cuts and like kind of like tries to like mix them and like blend into Angela's for the ending.
Not good sound design.
So poor.
The fireplace crackling at the end, that's like
so loud and
volume
obnoxious.
500.
I was like, what is
This
that?
is a
Why is it
fireplace.
fucking crackling my ears?
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever did the sound on this was just like, dude, I don't care.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what I was gonna
I'm
say.
sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
I
We
made you
just
forget.
we just talked for 1 second too long because I literally had it in my head, and then it was just gone 2 seconds later.
Oh.
It was like right there, and then I was like, wait, what happened to it?
It's gone.
It is. It's okay. So yeah, super entertaining. So many ridiculous scenes. So much stupid shit throughout. Um, but yeah, Angela gets to get away. Good for her.
Yeah.
Um, and where's the sequel? Where's why isn't this
Where's the
have?
sequel where Miguel and Manuela come back?
I can't for the life of
Bloody
me.
Moon,
Yeah, the title
whatever that
too. Whatever the
means.
fuck the bloody
Whatever
moon.
translation. Well, that's not what it is in Spanish. I don't know what it is in Spanish, but the title screen was not Bloody Moon.
Yeah,
So I don't know why they named it Bloody Moon. There's
I
like
don't either.
3 shots maybe of the moon in this.
Yeah, what would you call this? What's a better title for
I
this
would
movie?
call this Evil Sister Kills.
Let's not let Kaylee name any
What do
movies.
you mean? Evil Sister manipulates teacher.
Wow, that
Or
doesn't give
okay.
away anything.
Okay, fine. How about like how about language school killers?
Oh my god, these are getting worse. Language school killer?
Yeah.
Language school killer or
Oh no!
sister.
I have the best title. Here's
Okay.
the title. Shake Your Baby. That's what it should have been called. Shake Your Baby.
Mm,
And the cover is just a baby that's being shaken. And then people are like, I guess I'll watch this. And there's no babies in the whole movie.
it would pay off though with that banger.
But then when you get to that song, you're like, oh, that's why.
That's why.
That's why it's Shake Your Baby.
Yeah.
There's plenty of movies that have covers that are like not at all related to what the movie is, right?
Oh,
So,
fuck yeah.
so I'm saying, just show
especially like foreign films, right?
yeah, exactly.
Like Italian giallos.
It's just some like one of those like painted ones of like just a lady like shaking a baby.
Yeah,
And the blood is dripping.
Okay, we're well past now. So let us know if you liked Shake Your Baby, and if I remember what I was gonna say, I'll put it in the comments. But other than that, that's Slasher Sunday for the week.
Yeah.
By the time you guys see this, we will be in San Diego.
We're going on a
Sunday.
trip.
Yeah, Sunday is my birthday.
Yes.
Okay, so
Sunday
yeah,
is his
so happy birthday to me.
Yay,
That's I guess what
happy birthday.
we should have done some birthday slasher.
Oh yeah, we should have.
Oops.
We can do 2.
Already
We'll watch
did.
another one tomorrow.
I already did happy birthday to me, and I think I already did bloody birthday. I don't know what other birthday themed horror movies there are, but Happy
we'll
Death
find
Day as well. Already did those.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but regardless,
Happy birthday.
that was fun, and we will see you next week.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.